Enormous price action faced as the ticker met our upside targets with accuracy before finding a capitulation to remember. We have some curious data from the fall and some momentum shifting data to go over from the recovery in the after hours trading. Let's take a look at our manipulation signals for foul play too. Welcome back to the channel on this Freaky Friday. This is ARCa. Let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday to all of you, and let's dive in to ticker symbol FNGR. So we are observing FNGR here on the weekly time frame, and I believe that this was a critical time frame for us to take a look at, since we are, we're essentially using this time frame for the breakout that we're currently experiencing, right? So I want to express a little bit of concern here first, okay? Before we go over any of the recovery signals, okay? First of all, we got a weekly closure, and this weekly closure is a bearish engulfing, okay? So this bearish engulfing could introduce another downside, okay? But what you are, I guess, you know what, the after hours trading did close at about 6:30, right? Yeah, it closed at 6:30, pretty much where the traditional close happened at 6:32, right? So it came back to our focus target that we used before, right? So we used this focus target to bounce from the immediate short term for a continuation to the upside. The low of this candle here came down to that 617. Obviously, that this is the reason why we used it, right? But in what was it? The low was actually $6 on the penny, I believe, right? So here, yeah, we faced a low of $6 exactly before recovering a really interesting recovery. But I still have to point this out because this may introduce a retouch of the $6 target, okay? And we're gonna verify that. I don't know just yet, but we will validate that as we move on, okay? So now, oh right, by the way, so just so you know, this is the this is the descending broadening wedge that we have been using to kind of guide price action, to tell us where we're going, essentially, right? So, yeah, and this is also how we've been able to tell the top side targets and all that with some accuracy, right? So everything is looking a little shaky right now, a little dangerous, but I really would like to express to you that that would be the process upon attempting a serious breakout like this, right? So we got the first candle closure here of a weekly candle closure the prior week, and it was the first one in 3 years, right? So now we got this massive candle, the first weekly closure, to reach all the way up to 730, what was it, the 725, right? So that's also now the second candle that has its second highest iteration here. So there's a lot of first times in a great amount of time for this asset right now. So this is going to be a treacherous ride here to break out of this key resistance and very, very long-standing resistance, 3-year long, okay? So now that I can, now that you know that, we can move on, right? So please remember, also, you guys, I think I have now I have to make a recount here to make sure, but I think 7 or 8 seats left from the 30 that I initially announced about 2.5 weeks ago have been taken, right? So from the 30. So get in touch with me at ArcMastersCourse@gmail.com to start this 16-week mentorship program with me, right? And I'll go ahead and share with you the disclaimer, the syllabus, the entire details regarding that. So let's move on here, and this is something curious that I wanted to share with you, okay? So first of all, the linear regression bands, or the channel, right, was able to give us some targets for us to look forward to. First of all, the 708 target was the resistance of the bands, right? That's how we knew 708 was there, right? The bottom side of this channel here was that 613, which was this right over here that we had at 617 to 623, right? I'm sorry, let me go ahead and highlight that. Yeah, 617 to 623, that's how we were able to tell the bottom side here, right? So, and also this is what I use, right? This is the tool that I use for scalping and for day trading and the SPY and things like that. Every day you see me use it, right? So, and kudos to a Cryptic Trader for bringing this up, right? So, he's a very talented trader and definitely one of the moderators for the ARCa Bulls, and also an ARCa Bull analyst, right? So yeah, I want you to notice this. The piercing of today's candle, this is the hourly time frame, by the way, We went up 2.48% to the upside to reach that 725 target, which, by the way, we said the top side would be around 726. Maybe if it does, if it does beat that 726, then we would touch the 736 area, right? But yes, we got that top side, and then it actually capitulated. But that was 2.48%. Now, if we go to the inverse right here and notice, we made a 2.21% move under the linear band before recovering. So it's really curious how that is rhyming here. So it actually makes me feel that this is also used, right? But yes, we already know, and you guys already know, that the linear regression channel is institutionally used in general, right? So yeah, so let's just go ahead and actually, by the way, this is one of the gifts. This indicator already exists in TradingView, but I've modified it ever so slightly for our advantage. You will be given this as a gift from me for joining the ArcMasters course, the 16-week mentorship, right? Just to be clear about that, you will be receiving indicators from me. Okay, not the ARQ series, but definitely my scripts, my personal ones. And here is the resistance level that we were speaking of, right? 726 to 752. The candle came up right there. Now, here is a curious thing, though, right? So while it is appearing as massively bearish on a weekly time frame, it's actually appearing massively bullish on a daily. Because when you have a downtrend like this and you print a long-wicked inverted hammer, that usually suggests reversal and continuation to the upside. And we've already known how FNGR has been able to kind of decouple itself from broader market sentiment and also from typical candle analysis. It tends to reject those rudimentary things or fundamentals, right? So I just want you to know that we are well within one of those critical supports, right? Of course, we went down to the $6 zone, which was noted right over here. I actually had it at 603 or 604, but 604 to 593 with a focus at 6, right? That was I'm sorry, if I remember correctly, it was actually 599. So yeah, it came down to that level. Everything is still using the original supports that we had. So let's I want to see if we can. Okay, let's move on to the next chart and see what we have here. So this is where we're going to try to go over the manipulation signals. Okay, let's go ahead and load those up now, right? So yeah, these were the notes from today. Let me get rid of that. And let's go ahead and start putting this together for the, okay, Heikin-Ashi candles. Let's get a composure up. This is the ARQ composure. And it is actually part of the ARQ indicators subscription package that we have, right? So go ahead and get in touch with that and we'll pass you the information. So right away, 5-minute time frame Heikin-Ashi candles giving us a huge manipulation signal right over here at about 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is the 30 minutes after market close. And that sent, that literally sent price action from 629 to a dead $6 target down there. Right, so now let's move down. Actually, you know what? Let's move up. Let's see if we have any blatant manipulation on the larger time frames. Nothing on the 10, nothing on the 15, and nothing on the 30. Honestly, we can go up, but it wouldn't really do it justice. So let's go down to the weird time frames. Right? Let's use the 4-minute time frame and take a look at this. Okay, so 4-minute time frame does have that manipulation strike there. So let's go ahead and kind of jot that down like that. And we can also just keep these iterations as yellow because it is the yellow cross that we're looking for from the ARQ composure algorithm. What we want to see is if composure gave us an early read or an early warning prior to this happening. Okay, so now we're noticing another iteration here. This one is also in line. So let's go ahead and jot that down here. We're going to go ahead and collect these, right, so that we know exactly how early we were given these signals from the indicator. Well, man, okay, so we have even more signals here, and these are individual signals. Okay, so they're appearing in different time frames. Okay, so we're going to count them all. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the 1-minute time frame. Lots of people observe the 1-minute time frame, of course, right? So here's a separate one, and here is another one. So far, we're already being told by the ARQ composure that at 677. We got our first warning shot, and we know we see this live. When people ask me, "Hey, ARCa, pull up the manipulation indicator and see if we're getting some shots?" And we're already getting a pretty early one here at 670 something. Given, yes, we were already at 725, but we're still not done. Let's go to the 30-second interval here and see if we have any other shots in there. Okay, nothing there. And let's see the 15-second intervals, right? So, and luckily for this damn thing, yeah, it didn't actually get the early reads here, but we have one more right over here from the 10-second interval. So, yeah, and you know what? I gotta put down the 5-minute one too. Here you go. So, this is our total count. The ARQ indicator was able to give us this early signal at the opening of this candle here. 679. Right, so 679 was when it first shot it off, and this thing just capitulated, right? So I think it was fair enough that we were able to get that warning from ARQ Composure at that at least that valuation, right? So if we were practicing the strategy behind ARQ Composure, then the downside here would have been yeah, you're saving almost 12% from that capitulation, right? So really unfortunate times there, right? So let's go ahead and count them though. So we have you know what, I can just put this on the 1 minute time frame and see what's up. But this is an enormous amount for one day, right? And especially at the end of the day. Like how does, you know, we actually didn't look at the rest of the day too, right? So let's see if there's anything there. So 1 minute and 2 minute, nothing there. Let's see, okay, nothing on the 30-second interval. Let me see the 15-second intervals and take a look at the entire day. Okay, nothing. Nothing. Okay, so now, yeah, let's go to the 3 minute and go to the present time, right, which would be between these two blue. This is the after hours. This is pre-market here, right? So let's, okay, nothing there. Good deal. Let's go to the 4 minute time frame. It did not give us a warning there. Okay, and let's go to the 5 minute. Okay, no warnings there either. Okay, so yeah, they all of this manipulation didn't fire off until the I guess when it might have been like power hour, whenever this started to fail like crazy. Yeah, definitely no manipulation signals here. Even I mean, we can always check the 15-minute, but those time frames become less and less apparent. Right, so yeah, even up to the hourly, we're not getting any manipulation here, right? So even if you're curious, buy hourly, nothing. All right, so yeah, we definitely didn't get it in the earlier part of the day. Everything was focused right at the last part of the day, and total count of manipulation strikes were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 total, even leading into the after hours, and that now makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 5 days of manipulation in a row. That's what we're facing right now. That's ridiculous. I haven't seen manipulation happen in I mean every single day. That's yeah, that's not good. Anyway, sorry, team. I was kind of upset over how that played out. You know, towards the end of the live stream today, you know, while the group was a little smaller, it was not 150, not 160 people. It was down to close to 100 people. You know, I expressed my bear thesis there, and I said, guys, you know, this is not quantified, it's not systematic, it's not back tested, it's not anything like put through any system, but I'm going to give you my speculation. And I feel that as this asset reaches the 726, 736, 740 targets, that's bull trap zone. And they've done it before. And I feel like they're going to, you know, they would potentially sell it off around those areas there. Right. So, and they did it again, man. You know, that really sucks. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'll try to answer as much as I can. Right, team? So, yeah, anyway here, team, let's go and reference, okay, here's something that we should know. Of course, I'm talking about a potential drop to $6. So if we're going to focus this, please notice that we had a target here at 605. right? And that was the center of the pennant here. That's how we used the take profit for down here. And that was one of the take profits that we did not realize. We actually ended up realizing halfway to this target right down here before we made that massive upside, right? So we ended up getting the target number one. Sure, that's great. But what's curious is that we closed these, we closed these candles, and the wick low of this one is right at that 605 take profit from the pennant. So in some way, it is practicing geometrics pretty nicely too. So yeah, we have a focus at 623, definitely the 614 bottom side. But now that we touched the $6 zone again, we have to keep that in mind. And it is definitely not to be ignored, because we have lots of attention within that $6 zone. And if you guys remember, we used it so many times over here. We were always battling through this $6 zone to try to get ourselves up there. Right, so just know that it's a tough area to get over, and we have to validate more than a 4-hour candle here. I would really like to have closures of daily closures upside of $6 in order for us to validate a continuation to the upside, right, you guys? So that's those are currently my thoughts, and yeah, just so you can see how tough this is here, right? We're just knocking at that door. The bulls are not giving up. I definitely see it, right? And again, this is looking pretty bullish right here, given the fact that there is an inverted hammer after a downtrend. So now let's move on to the last part of the analysis here. There is an okay shot on the 30-minute time frame to succeed the upside of the SMA 14 represented by this pink line. There is a shot at that, right? But we're not I can't be sure, because it is kind of close to the gravitational zone here from the bear weakness percentile, which would essentially pressure the price action back into bear strength. Okay, so let's see. The bi-hourly time frame is showing a little bit of an upside here, but to be honest, the initial time frames, or the early or shallow time frames, must show an absolute upside. They're looking good, right? They're looking good 5, 10 minute, and 15 minute leading into the 30, but the 30 minute is at resistance right now, and this time frame here would alone determine the succession of the hourly into the bi-hourly. So for example, if this exceeds the upside, this may actually reach that gravitational zone here to eventually pull back, being that the bi-hourly time frame has this, or the hourly time frame has this resistance right in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile. Okay, so that can be a hint here that this would, continue upward, then resist from the gravitational zone here alongside the hourly time frame, the gravitational zone, and the SMA 14. Pull it down and continue just like these ones are indicating here. This is the 4-hour, this is the 6-hour, right? Arguably, they are in the gravitational zone for an upside here, right? But they're going to be entirely dependent upon the initial time frames. And this time frame on the daily time frame, of course, it's getting a little dangerous there. So let's look at the 12-hour instead. 12-hour, definitely in the danger zone here, right? So this is the gravitation here. It may very well pull us back down, right? But please remember that these upper time frames are they're dependent on the shorter time frames push, right? So whatever the shorter time frames decide to do, that is where the larger ones will follow. So even talking about these later, the deeper time frames, it's just a waste of time. Okay, you guys, so you know the targets, you know the theory here. I think that this is a pretty good place to cut it out. And let's see, did I have potential resistance here on that short-term upside to maybe 640 to 650 before a potential pullback, right? And then we would get that the test of the 620 test again of the after hours close at 630, right? Pullback into the area of around $6, but that definitely has a focus at around 610, right? So let's just be aware of that, right? I'll put the 610 down in there just in case, right? Because this can serve as a temporary support, so that price action can do something like this, right? This is really a really just whatever example here, right? So something like this here, and then maybe correcting. So we shall see how that goes, but yeah, don't hold me to this right now, because sentiment is incredibly bearish on this right now, and we have to kind of repair here for a bit. But yeah, team, I think that's a good place to leave off. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios, team. No.